How's it going, Martians? Jade back with another Martian report. In this one, we're going to go over some FUD, some CCN FUD, because CCN is always out here FUDing XRP. It's like they think that we're all a bunch of idiots who don't know that CCN is Bitcoin slanted. What? Did I say that out loud? My bad. Hey, if you enjoyed my little joke, maybe you can hit that subscribe if you're new. Otherwise, just hit the like. Y'all know you enjoy my terrible jokes, right? At any rate, by CCN markets, to say that XRP is a laggard would be a huge understatement. The cryptocurrency has been in a long downtrend ever since it posted an all-time high of $3.30 in January 2018. Hold on. Before I read any further, I just have to point out, I swear with each and every article, CCN's trying to say that XRP didn't go as high as it actually went. Like, they're trying to get as close to, it only went to 30 cents as possible. XRP in 2018 in January went to $3.89 on almost all exchanges. So, I don't know what cherry-picking exchange they're coming at this from with this price that they're pulling out there out of thin air. But XRP went way over 330. It sat at 330 for like days. That wasn't its all-time high. That was like a plateau that it peaked out at. But anyways, we'll go ahead and just say, whatever, 330 in January. Yeah, that's where it capped out because it's old news. You know, they're just trying to downplay the potential inherent in this. That's what they're really doing by saying that it capped out at that price. But now, it's currently trading at 25 cents, which is a massive devaluation of over 92% in over a year and a half. Or you could look at it as it's at 25 cents, which is more than twice what it was 2 years ago. But you know, we're going to cherry pick our time frames and only go with the peak price versus the current price. You know, there's tons of ways to look at this thing. Make it look great, make it sound terrible. You know, it's just all about how you want to slant your article. And that's clearly what CCN is doing here, is creating a very slanted article. They're trying to apply the maximum amount of pain to you as an XRP investor by saying, hey, it hasn't done anything for a year and a half. Why would you think that it's going to do anything different? Oh, because you're paying attention to something other than price. Well, maybe CCN points out a market fundamental here in this article that was going to make me seem like an idiot for sitting here and kind of laughing at them, right? Well, let's go on. The brutal bear market has made many XRP holders unhappy. Some are starting to capitulate. Well, this is true. There are a lot of people who are selling out. Like XRP Brad here sold his, quote, personal XRP. In other words, what he's making clear here is that he sold his trade position. And a lot of people have come out saying that they've dumped their trade position in recent days, you know, weeks, months, whatever. And that's because a lot of people are convinced that there's still room to go down in this market. I personally have on my channel on multiple times over the last few weeks said that, especially since we had our dump down below 27, saying that I think XRP could very likely dump to 20 cents before we see the price get a strong rebound up. But at the same time, I am not at all worried about what the price does in the short term, because short-term dumps only mean that I get to get fatter bags, right? I'm sure that's how most of you out there who are actually following my content feel, because we're not paying attention to the price as much as we are paying attention to the underlying fundamentals, the real-world development of use cases for our digital asset we're investing in. Something that very few of the other digital assets in the ecosystem can even claim to have bear witness to over the last 2 years of this bear market, right? So the article goes on to say that the reason for this sentiment is because the market sentiment is extremely bearish, and coming from a pseudonymous account named Tradeboy Cardi MBA, tweeted an XRP chart and wrote, if XRP breaks 27 cent support, it goes another minus 50% to 14 cents. except for the fact that no, my friend, no, that's not at all what we're looking at here. But you know, if that's what he wants to insinuate, you know, so be it. Now, again, I'm saying that XRP can absolutely go down to 20 cents, but I think 14 is a bit of a reach. But even still, 14 cents is only XRP. Is XRP still not even testing the high of its previous bull run, which is what would really be, you know, a point of fear? And that's because the high of its previous bull run before its 2018 run up and peak at $3.80 some cents, or $3.30 as CCN wants to say, is its previous peak was below 10 cents. So, you know, if it goes to 14 cents, that just means that those people who bought in at 10 cents in 2014, I believe, would still be up 50% from where they were, you know, literally 4 years ago. And that's after they had the chance to turn their 10-cent purchase into a $3 exit, or almost $4 exit, really. And so, you know, when you read articles like these, what you need to keep in mind is the time frame that somebody's sharing with you, and how they can use that time frame to skew the narrative that they're selling to you. Like, sure, you can absolutely attest that, you know, you can absolutely make the claim, and it will be factual, that if you look at XRP from its previous high all the way to present, that XRP is down, you know, by their standards 92%. By mine, it's down 97%. That's a fire sale to me. That's like, who the heck's not buying this thing that's been seeing massive global adoption since its peak just because it's going down? It's like, the insanity of man can never be fully appreciated because humans are so insane. They're irrational as irrational gets. You know, they're so irrational that they like to criticize the, quote, elites for being reptilians because, you know, they're not emotional beings. They rather be analytical. Well, why do you think that they're the ruling elite? Because they're not an emotional child who gets butthurt because the price goes down. Instead, they're analytical and looking at the long-term trend. They're not worried about what's going to happen to them in 5 minutes. They don't want the piece of candy right now. They're willing to wait for a day, a week, a month, a year, so that then they own the candy factory, right? Because that's what patience brings. That's like one of the greatest correlators of success in life in children is their ability to prioritize long-term benefits over short-term gains. And there's many psychological studies that you can dig into for this, but, you know, that's just something that I want to provide to you as somebody who studied psychology before getting involved in this space, is that there are very clear trends in human behavior that dictate not dictate, but are strong indicators of an individual's future success or chance of future success. And patience, foresight, these are two of the most important. Conscientiousness. If you're conscientious, you know, if most of you all out there probably are familiar at least with Jordan Peterson. You know, he has several videos where he goes into personality theory and discussing how you can literally choose to adopt certain belief systems to help push your behaviors towards those more reflective of somebody who desires to become successful in life, who has ambition that they wish to capitalize on. You cannot capitalize on such ambitions until you train yourself, you apply the self-discipline to yourself necessary to grow the behaviors, the behaviors necessary to become successful, to capitalize on the ambition that you may or may not have, which I feel that most people in the XRP community have quite a bit of ambition. Why do you think that so many of us are so convinced that this thing is going to the moon? You know, it's not just because we have watched the fundamentals play out for so long and said, wow, like this thing really just has to go up for these companies, these banks and financial institutions to utilize this thing for the thing they're saying. It's just math. It's just numbers, and the numbers say that we're all early, right? Well, this guy is, this article, CCN, is trying to say that the XRP community isn't happy, and that many people are accusing Ripple Labs of dumping XRP positions to unwitting retail investors. Their suspicions are not unfounded. Actually, they are. They are. Because they dumped 250 million worth of XRP in a quarter. That's over 3 months. They sold approximately 333 million XRP onto an exchange over each month for 3 months. And there you go. You got basically a billion XRP out in circulation. And it wasn't even that much, because the previous quarter XRP was over 35 cents for the majority of the second quarter. So it wasn't even a billion XRP in circulation. But whatever, we can say that because XRP is at 25 cents now that they sold a billion XRP worth 250 million, right? Whatever, let them skew their facts and data as much as they wish to perpetuate the image that they wish for their readers to personify. Go ahead, dump more XRP, please. I can't say it enough that I personally love when I see the price dump, because I'm not here to get rich by the end of 2019 or 2020. I'm here to be friggin' fantastically wealthy by 2022, 2023. And that's how anybody who wants to actually make money in a emergent market really needs to look at this thing. If you're thinking you're going to get rich off of day trading, you're going to end up broke. You're going to end up so broke that you're going to probably end up in debt to somebody. And then you're really not going to be happy. You're going to miss the boat because you were trying to trade margins. And guess what? Nobody beats the market. That's why it's the market. That's just, if you listen to anybody who's ever been successful in their life as far as an investor, Warren Buffett, Mark Cuban, any of these successful, decamillionaire or billionaire individuals out there, when they discuss how they made money off the stock markets, it's patience. It's observing the fundamentals, following the fundamentals of the market, not listening to some pundit or price analyst complain about the current price being low. Well, yeah, because markets are irrational and they will stay irrational. The price will be irrational longer than a rational trader can stay solvent. And I'm saying trader because not investor, because traders are the idiots who only pay attention to numbers on a screen. Investors are following tech trends, adoption trends, fundamentals. And so therefore it's a lot easier for us to sit there and say, yeah, go ahead, dump all your XRP dummies, dump us down to 20 cents. Please make Trader Boy Cardi here right and give me an XRP at 14 cents, because I will start selling organs to buy XRP at 14 cents if I'm given that opportunity. I mean, I'm very bullish on XRP, obviously, and I do not suggest anybody out there go and start selling organs for more XRP, but it's fantastic that this is the kind of content we have to deal with. As the article goes on to show, Brad Garlinghouse has even come out saying how shocked he is at the continuous FUD being thrown at XRP and Ripple over the last few weeks, and it's fantastic. As somebody who's here for the long haul, I find it fantastic and encouraging, because again, it means that we're being presented an opportunity to buy XRP dirt cheap right now. And so that's why I'm so bullish right now, because I'm confident that, even if XRP does dump down to 14 cents or 20 cents, as I'd like to see, those are going to be short-term, very short-lived price moves. And so anybody that's getting in, even at this price range, down at the 25 cent range, guess what? You're not going to be disappointed with yourself if you're actually buying with the intention of not selling until 2022, 2023. Anybody, like, I'm here to encourage people to be long-term trend swing traders. I'm not interested in encouraging anybody that thinks that they're going to become successful, become rich, overnight because they're going to capitalize on the great dip that comes back to give them the greatest return. It's like, well, you might get that, or you might just buy and it's going to dump, and then you're going to be stuck holding until you can buy again on that dump and build your position. You should be thinking about, when the price is going down, building your position more and more, instead of, oh man, did I make a mistake buying at that previous price before the dump? No, you didn't, because you bought your dollar cost averaging into this market. The more you buy the dips, the more dips you buy, the more likely it is that you're going to see your overall investment in this market into XRP start to go up. It's just, basic fundamentals of investing. Dollar cost average. But again, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just somebody who's done his due diligence in understanding this ecosystem, understanding how to effectively invest, and how to build upon my initial investment. Now, at the moment, I will be completely open with my entire audience. I'm actually down a fair percentage because I've not had the opportunity to buy XRP at this price range, because it hasn't been an opportunity for me since I started investing in XRP. And that's a big thing. That's a big deal. That's why I'm excited and really hoping it keeps going down in the short term, because that's going to mean that, once again, I get a better entry deal. You, my viewer, get a better entry deal, right? And so that's what I hope everybody takes away from this. There's no reason to even continue reading. The article goes on to talk about how XRP has broken its key support range, which it hasn't. Its key support is technically right where it's riding right now. This, between these two bars here on the screen that they have drawn, between the 28 cents and the 13.5 cent range, if you look at the movements prior to its run up to $4, you'll see that there are multiple points of resistance within that price range. Multiple points. At the 20 cent is the primary one. That's why I want to see us hit 20 cent, because that will be our first range of resistance. And then if we drop down to 20 cents, so we already hit 23 earlier, the week before last. If we go down to 20 cents, then maybe we can start talking about hitting 16 or 18 cents, not 14 cents. Again, because we're talking about incremental price dumps, and each of these becomes less and less likely the further down we dig, because once again, we're talking about the only people that are profiting from these sales are the people who have been in this market for over a year and a half, for nearly 2 years now. So it's becoming less and less likely that anybody is going to be willing to sell unless they're a freaking moron, someone that has absolutely no idea what they're doing and is going to sell at a loss because they believe an article from CCN that is a notoriously Bitcoin maximalist site that's just crapping on XRP because it's a threat to them. But with that said, I've fed enough time into this video. I'm sure that we're over the 10-minute mark, but now for certain, where are we at? Oh my, we're almost 20 minutes. So 20 minutes ranting on some FUD. Hope you all enjoyed the FUD bashing. If you have, as always, please be sure to throw a subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't already, and give me a like if you enjoyed my perspective on CCN's FUD article here. Also, if you would like to help my channel grow, help me grow our community, be sure to share this video on Twitter or Facebook or whatever social media platform you talk about your digital assets on the most. As always, thank you all for your continued support, and I can't wait to see all of you in my next video on Mars.